Me, Pam?
Yeah. Yeah, you can text her, tell her we're on here.
Okay.
And then Kim was there last night, so I guess she decided she didn't need this morning. Okay, I'm just logging into my class on BYUI, and I'll see if I can pull that up. So I got your text. Is Pam on there too?
Oh, I sent it to the wrong one.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
Oh, you know what? It's been a day.
Oh, yeah.
Right here.
Okay, let me see. So you're wondering about, which quiz are you wondering about?
Yeah, on the homework quiz, the very last one on 10.
On lesson 5 or lesson 4?
Lesson 5.
Lesson 5 homework quiz. Okay. Okay. Hey, I just figured it out. I just pulled it up.
How do you do that?
So you're wondering about question 10 on homework quiz 5, right?
Well, I want to make sure the decimal thing all confused me.
Okay.
You know, because I was driving, trying to, I'd pull over and write, and then I'd start driving.
Yeah,
it was a joke.
Funny. Okay, so question 10 says find the 35th percentile of the LSAT scores, right?
Right.
Okay, so the answer is 146.8.
Right, which I got that, but my question was, do you know the one right before that, the answer is 140.5. I know when he did the area, that's why I didn't know if you'd be able to remember. When he did the area, you had to type in 0.68 for the area, and then when he went to 10, he typed in 0.36 for the area, and I was just wondering what the difference was.
Oh, he did?
Yes, and so I was just trying to, you know, just for the future to, let's see, just for the future, you know. Let me just double check why I guess we're going through it. So 8 is 0.268.
Right.
So only 3 there. And then 7 is 0.618.
Right.
And then the next one is 12.2 to 37.8.
Right.
And data not approximate.
Yep.
Not approximately normal, so number 2.
Right.
And then 4 is, it's extremely, which one is it? Unusual.
Number 4 is the individual's blood pressure is unusually high.
Usually high. So the first one.
Right.
And then the other one we had, that one was a choice, so 0.5. I was worried, you know, and then it's 1.221.
Right.
And then 0.25.
It's 2.5.
It's not, I thought we changed it to 0.025.
No, mine's 2.5 and I got it right.
Oh my gosh, see, that's why 2.5.
Yeah, there was a lot of confusion last night, I think. But
okay, so answer as a percentage accurate to 1 decimal. So that is 1 decimal, 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. I think it was I think it was 0 or 0.025%. Is that right?
Right.
No, wait. That was the answer.
It was 0. He actually had.
We needed to make it as a percent, so it's 2.5%.
He did the decimal, which was 0.25, but then if we needed to make it a percent, that's why it's 2.5.
Mm-hmm.
And so, anyway, so I was going to ask a question. I was going to ask the question, why did he do a smaller area? And I clicked on my speaker and it didn't work. So anyway, so I guess we can just go to the quiz.
What's the next?
So it's the group quiz on group meeting lesson 5 quiz.
Group meeting, lesson 5 quiz. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so on that, let me open that up. Okay, so 3. We'll just start with 3.
Number 3.
Yeah, so the total area of the normal distribution curve must equal 1.
Correct.
And so did you put 1.0? Let's see, how many does this?
I just put 1.
Okay, so you just didn't do anything but 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then 4 is false.
Mm-hmm.
5 is true.
Yep.
6 is C.
Right.
7 B.
Right.
8. Okay, now 60. Okay, I know it's 68%. So did you just do 68, not a point?
Right. I just did 68.
And then the next one on 9 is 0.683.
Right.
And then 10 was the tricky one that we were having a problem with, which is 0.955.
Right.
And I was wondering the same thing because I thought, oh, he didn't round up. And I remember thinking, well, see if it's right at the end.
I remember that too. And so I did not submit my quizzes until he did his, just so he could see if he got them right. And I had never heard that rule before, that rule that he said, if it's an even number, if it's a 5 after an even number, you don't round up. I've never heard that before. Maybe it's older than I am, because I've always heard if it's a 5 or over, then you always round up 1. So
well, that's the rule I've always heard. So that was interesting. Okay, so 11 was 0.997.
Right.
And then matches the 68.95 rule, the first one.
Uh-huh.
And then 13, 0.237.
Yep.
And then 14, this is where I had a question. So
Okay.
14, did you have 0.762?
Yes.
And then what confused me was the next one is 0.762.
I know.
Right?
And I just think it's a coincidence. Like, I don't think that it's meant to be the same answer. I just think that it just ended up being the same answer. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay, so 14 was 7.762.
Uh-huh. And so is
15 was 0.762.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, I thought it was odd that they had the same number too. But
And
it's
well,
right.
that's what I thought. And I was I was pulled over to the side then, and I couldn't ask. And then when he skipped 16 or whatever, then I was really getting confused.
Yeah.
So anyway, so 16 was 0.525.
Right.
And then 17 is 0.623.
Mm-hmm.
And then 18 is, oh, this is the one I didn't know. It wasn't showing on the screen. And it was so small, so I didn't have the answer for 18.
It's 0.709.
0.709.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so those are all the, what do you call, percentages are right.
Yeah. And you know what I loved that he did? And because I always feel this with math. And that's what I couldn't understand, why even my kids now, they use calculators for everything in school. And so I was like, why aren't you guys learning how to work out the problems, you know? But I love how Brother Doria has the same insight. He's like, as long as you have the tools to get to what you want, then have the tools, you know? Because the problem I had was I couldn't figure out that whole, you know, the 68, 95, 97, 9 or whatever. Like, I couldn't figure out when they asked for the percentile, I didn't quite grasp how they worked that out. But then when he showed us his applet that he uses and how it figures it out for you, the one that the college gave us doesn't figure that out for you, but the one that he gave us does. Then I was like, yay, it makes sense now.
Well, see, the good thing for me is I just took Math 108 last semester, so all of this sounds familiar. We had to do everything by hand. So we had
Wow.
to calculate the 68. I know the 95 rule, I knew all that. We did the
Good.
Z-score. We did everything by figuring it out by hand. So this applet thing is kind of new for me, and so that's why I'm trying to figure out, okay, now where do you enter this and where do you enter that? But it does make sense because it's like using a spreadsheet or
Yeah.
using a calculator.
Yeah.
So I get the impression we're not going to have to, but we do have to know the formulas. Is that what your impression was?
Yes. Well, at least
So,
the Z formula, we have to know that. And we
which is
have to know how to
data
do that.
minus the means divided by the standard deviation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So anything else? Let's see. You need
Did
to
you
know
have any
how
other
the number of the
questions?
standard deviation is above or below was one question.
Which one?
Okay, so the Z-score, you had to know the formula.
Right.
And then I think you said for the Z-score, you have to understand what it does. It's how the numbered standard deviation is above or below the means. I don't know. I wrote something. Did you write any definition for that? I know there was 2 definitions he pointed out.
The only thing that I wrote down that he said that I wrote on top of the notes I've already written that he said last night was that IQR. We haven't even started that IQR yet, have we? I was in the dark when he's talking about IQR.
Yeah. Well,
we haven't even talked about it.
Right.
But anyway.
And of course, since I just got out of math, I mean, I understood what he was talking about, but we didn't do IQR in the last class, so.
Okay. But I wrote that down. And then I did write down half implies median.
Right. I got that too.
And then I wrote down just how on his applet, I just wrote down a couple things on how to do his applet that he gave us, like how to figure out the Z-scores, you have to have the mean at 0 and the standard deviation at 1. And then also to do the percentages, you have to click on that bottom line and not the top one, just under the graph. So those are the only other things that I wrote down.
Okay, there's that. I wrote that too. I'll underline that. That it has to be at 0. I don't know why it has to be at 0.
Yeah,
I was just trying to write, drive. I'd pull over, drive. And then when he was having some of the problems once he submitted it and was having all the problems, that's when I hurried and got on the freeway.
Yeah. Yeah, when he's trying to figure stuff out.
This problem, I'll get off the freeway and then I'll be good. So, because I knew I could just pull over anytime they were given an answer.
Yeah. Did you text Pam? Because I don't know.
I did, and I'm, okay.
Did you talk to her earlier today?
I did. I called her because, I knew she was the earliest, but I figured Pam.
And what did she say?
She says she was good with either. So her numbers.
Does she still think it's going to be at 11? Because it was you that had to be early today. So I still planned on doing it at 9:15 when we had planned on it. So I don't know.
Well, I text her and says we're on right now. And, and then anyway, so I sent her a text, so it's not like she didn't get that. But anyway, maybe she just figured because she was on the meeting too, she can count it.
Oh, okay.
But I just had a couple of these questions that thank you so much. So how did you find your answers then after the quizzes closed?
I did my quizzes as he was giving the answers.
No, I mean, how did you just open them up right now?
Oh. Okay. So if you go into, let me look it up here. So if you go at the very top and click on quizzes.
Okay.
See the content, discussions, quizzes.
So
if you click on the quizzes and you have the list of your quizzes and there's that down arrow next to each one.
Okay.
So click on that and click on submissions, and then it'll show you like attempt 1, attempt 2. You click on like the attempt 1 and it'll pull it up.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Anyway, I'm good.
Okay,
Thanks for working with me.
you're welcome. Have fun at your conference.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
Okay, see ya. Bye.
Bye.